Welcome to Reading and Writing Skills, Problem Solution Pattern of Development in Writing Across Disciplines, Second Semester, Quarter 3, Week 2. I'm Mr. Nel Pransambalo and I'm your teacher for this course. We are now on Problem Solution Pattern on Writing a Paragraph. So how could be the image related to it? Is it really related to our lesson, Problem Solution Pattern on Writing a Paragraph? Let's study the image. So we have there the question, of course. Dealing with problem solution pattern of paragraph, we have to identify the problem. After it, we have to process what is the problem about, process possible solutions for the problem, and arrive on a certain idea on how to solve it, and finally have the solution for that problem. So indeed, that image is related to our lesson dealing with a problem solution pattern in writing a paragraph. Let's go on discussing the remaining slides. Lesson 7, Problem Solution. In this lesson, you are expected to plan, structure, and write interesting and meaningful paragraphs applying the problem solution pattern in your essays about different topics, issues, or recent developments in various fields. I would like you to be that man who's concerned on emerging problems and would be trying his or her very best on thinking for solutions to the said identified problem. Okay, let's have the next slide. What's in? With your previous learning about cause and effect pattern of development, you can readily write a full-blown essay addressing any issue that interests you. After answering the why and the what happened, we now move on to the how. How will we do things and how can we resolve issues or concerns around us? This time, you will apply the problem solution pattern of development. So just like that puzzle, we have to find the solution on how can we put that missing puzzle perfectly on that incomplete puzzle. So again, it's the question how? How will we do things and how can we resolve the issues or concerns around us? So that's what we do in problem solution pattern of paragraph. Okay? What's new? Read the essay below. Identify the solution cited in the passage. Healing a Child, Stitches and Burns by Emerson T. Armero. There can be no doubt that a large number of CIFL or children in conflict with the law may commit more juvenile crimes despite the intense effort of teachers, the barangays, the police, and the guidance offices. This poses a huge challenge to government authorities and the whole society as well, since these minors are protected by law and should not be harmed by all means. Basically, while being interrogated upon, these child offenders do not take their case seriously. They sometimes treat their offenses as practical jokes similar to an amusing Snapchat or a TikTok moment. Others consider their waywardness as part of their growing up years. They are being young, wild, and prey, and they blend with the other CIFL regulars, thereby establishing an organization of future gangsters. Unfortunately, they are not given the chance to reform their character because they cannot go to jail and should be with their parents' custody within 24 hours. Additionally, some of them turn to substance abuse. There might be two doable solutions to overcome the problem mentioned in the previous paragraphs. The first step would be to give them the opportunity to intensely rehabilitate and provide educational programs suited to their needs and abilities which will prepare them in the harsh realities of life. It is also equally important that they get the full support and encouragement of their parents and fellow learners. It is reasonable to conclude that education still paves the way for CIFL learners to mend their ways. Furthermore, it's still everybody's responsibility to help them change, to motivate them to change and stay away from temptations that may inevitably arise. Now let's have the problem and solutions cited in the passage or in the essay that we read. Of course, the problem is there can be no doubt that a large number of CIFL or children in conflict with the law may commit more juvenile crimes despite the intense effort of teachers, the barangays, the police, and the guidance offices. For the solutions, as said in paragraph number 3, there might be two doable solutions to overcome the problem mentioned in the previous paragraphs. The first step would be to give them the opportunity to intensely rehabilitate and provide educational programs suited to their needs and abilities, which will prepare them in the harsh realities of life. It is also equally important that they get the full support and encouragement of their parents and fellow learners. Also, there's another solution provided here. It is still everybody's responsibility to help them change, to motivate them to change and stay away from temptations that may inevitably arise. So those are the problem and the solutions that we have in this essay. So this essay is a good example or sample of a problem solution essay. Okay? Let's have the next activity. What is it? A problem solution essay presents a problem, usually discussing several aspects of the problem, then concludes by discussing solutions to the problem. The problem may be addressed in the following ways. So, problems and problem solution essays can be addressed or resolved in the following ways. It can be effects only. Whenever we say effects only, describe the problem only in terms of effects, and you use examples. It can be causes and effects, wherein you outline the causes of the problem and you discuss the solutions in terms of preventive measures. Or we have the extended example, wherein you have there after a topic sentence, you illustrate the problem by using an extended example through a story or an anecdote from your introduction. So, which one is used in the previous essay that we read? Is it effects only? Do we have the effects only in the essay that we read? So remembering it, we have effects, but more on solutions. Causes and effects. Outline the causes of the problem. Do we have there the outline of the causes of the problem in the previous slide? Okay. And we have the effects. We have the causes and effects. Discuss solutions in terms of preventive measures. So do we have the solutions that serve as preventive measures so that the increasing number of CIFL who will be committing juvenile crimes will be lessened? Do we have it in the previous activity or in the essay that we read? Okay, yes, we do have. How about the extended example? After a topic sentence, illustrate the problem by using an extended example through a story or an anecdote from your introduction. So that's the previous activity or the essay. Use extended example on presenting the problem in the text. Do we have there a story or an anecdote about a juvenile child? So we don't have. So what we have there is the causes and effects because after reading it, we're able to we're able to find causes and effects enumerated in the essay showing the problem solution pattern on writing paragraphs or writing compositions. Okay, so again, the problem in the previous slide was addressed through causes and effects. So the solutions may be presented in various ways, and you have to think about which way would be the most appropriate for the particular problem you are discussing. So if there are ways on addressing the problems in the paragraph or in the essay or composition, there are also ways on presenting the solutions in the paragraph or composition. Okay, so let's find out what are those ways on presenting the solutions. Here are some ways to present solutions. Number one, preventive measures. Ways to prevent the problem from occurring in the first place. For example, how to prevent COVID-19. So preventive measures on not having COVID-19. It can be a series of steps. Suggest the easiest and most obvious solution first, but if that doesn't work, try something else, etc. We have example here. If you have a neighbor who does not wear mask nor practice social distancing, you might first talk to him or her. If that doesn't work, arrange for a mediator, etc. A last resort might be to call the police. So do we have that in the essay that we read? A series of steps? Of course, we do not have. The same is true with the preventive measures. How about advice? Give some advice and helpful hints. So do we have their advice or helpful hints in the previous slide? Okay. Mm-hmm. So what we have there is it what? The last way on presenting solution, which is a choice of solutions. Okay, got it right. So include solutions that have already been tried, have been unsuccessful, and new solutions which you are proposing. So that essay that we read exhibits this way of presenting solutions, which is a choice of solutions. So we have the two doable solutions, and also you have the latter part of the paragraph indicating another best solution to resolve the increasing number of CIFL children in conflict with the law that might commit more juvenile crimes. Okay, so again, we have here the ways on presenting solutions in problem solution paragraph or compositions. Okay, let's go on. The following transitional devices can also help you develop your text. For introduction, you can use nowadays. It's a common trend that society is becoming increasingly concerned about. For middle section or body, we can have, for instance, such as, like, or namely. For conclusion, we can use in conclusion, to conclude, to sum up. So again, every pattern of paragraph that we have been studying, there are set of transitional devices or transitional words that are being introduced to you. So the challenge is to make yourselves aware of them, what are the ideas communicated by them, and of course, to use them in your writings. Okay? So let's go on. What's more, choose a specific problem in your place and try to propose solutions for it. Write your insights in a short paragraph following the problem and solution pattern of development. Make use of correct transitional devices in your text. Be guided by the rubric below. 5 points. The paragraph states cause and effect, and all transitional devices are properly used. You will get 3 points if the paragraph states cause and effect, but few transitional devices are used. And of course, you will get a point if the paragraph states no cause and effect and it uses inappropriate transitional devices. Kindly check your Google Classroom and look for the Google Form link regarding this activity. Again, you have to choose a specific problem in in your place and try to propose solutions for it, and write a problem solution paragraph regarding that chosen specific problem coming from your place. Okay, let's proceed to the next slide. Let us have what I have learned. Arrange the following steps in developing a problem and solution text. Let me read them first. Brainstorm to identify several solutions, gather supporting information, define the problem to be solved, decide how to organize your writing, write a thesis statement, support your thesis with examples and details, write a strong conclusion. So, which do you think must come first? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct. It's the define the problem to be solved. Number two would be 3, 2, 1. Okay, brainstorm to identify several solutions. Third would be gather supporting information. Fourth, decide how to organize your writing. Fifth, write a thesis statement. Sixth would be support your thesis with examples and details. And lastly, we're going to have or to proceed on writing a strong conclusion. So again, the correct order would be define the problem to be solved, brainstorm to identify several solutions, gather supporting information, decide how to organize your writing, write a thesis statement, support your thesis with examples and details, and lastly, write a strong conclusion. So we are done on what I have learned. Let's have the next slide. Additional activity. List down the top three problems of millennials today. Then propose possible solutions to each of your identified problem. You can use this as a springboard in writing a problem solution text. So again, you check your Google Classroom and look for the Google Form link regarding this activity. But a good answer would be the mental health issue that we have nowadays. Since we have this pandemic, many are suffering from it. What could be the best solutions dealing with mental health? Of course, avoid negativities, focus on positivities, and of course, have there the strong family support of yours. Do not forget to communicate with your family members. And lastly, do not forget to communicate to your creator. It will always make you feel better. So again, that is my sample answer for this additional activity. Let's go on. Additional activity. List down the top three problems of millennials today, then propose possible solutions to each of your identified problem. You can use this as a springboard in writing a problem solution text. So again, you check your Google Classroom and look for the Google Form link regarding this activity. But a good answer would be the mental health issue that we have nowadays. Since we have this pandemic, many are suffering from it. What could be the best solutions dealing with mental health? Of course, avoid negativities, focus on positivities, and of course, have there the strong family support of yours. Do not forget to communicate with your family members. And lastly, do not forget to communicate to your creator. It will always make you feel better. So again, that is my sample answer for this additional activity. Let's go on.